All righty. Well, you guys, we are already on the fifth of our tiny training series. And today we are going to talk about the 1-3-5 rule. We're going to do that one because this one focuses on decision fatigue. And we know that our brains are so tired of making decisions. And as childcare providers, you guys get to make decisions for your business. You're making decisions for your program. You're making decisions if you have employees for employees. And then if you have families, you're doing it for your own families. And so this is a great way. This time management system is a great system for you for kind of getting away from that decision fatigue. And I'm a big one with keeping it simple and not doing the things that gives us exhaustion at the end of the day. So a little bit that I just want to start with already is that 0 to 5 Montana is a statewide early childhood organization. We're focused on increasing access to early care and education, supporting and strengthening families and uplifting voices. We believe in empowering small businesses and communities. We're a nonpartisan organization that's focused on solutions that work toward a Montana dedicated to every child. And the mission of Montana Child Care Business Connect is to help all childcare businesses in the state of Montana open, grow, sustain, and thrive. And then we help accomplish that through our comprehensive theory of change. Through this, we provide interactive workshops and professional development, one-on-one technical assistance with a business professional who can look at the details of your program and advise you on business best practices. Through bringing communities together to look at the issues around childcare to help them think of ways that work best in their community to bring solutions to the table. We also believe that you guys learn best from each other and that peer business mentorship is an excellent way to connect with colleagues, to find excellent information, and to support you in all the work that you're doing here in Montana. MCCBC has a robust website. It's packed full of resources that help you and your childcare business look for needed resources as you're opening, running, and operating your business. In 2025, we added a shared services component to our theory of change. That shared services component allows providers to come together and purchase things at a discount. We have services such as childcare management software, one-on-one technical assistance training for those softwares, allied health substitute services, and food program supports through shared services. So today's June 12th. We are on the 1-3-5 rule, and our last of this series is going to be on June 26th. I just want to start today with why we even care about time management, why it matters the most. And for me, a lot of people think time management is about productivity. We care about productivity, that matters, but that's not at all for a childcare provider. You guys are juggling way more than most people realize. You're doing it all. You are the true Wonder Women out there. Your job is physically demanding, it's emotionally exhausting. It often doesn't stop when your day ends. So having some system isn't just about productivity. It's about protecting your energy and creating a space for what truly matters. And that's where my passion and heart is that I want you guys to protect your energy. So we're not talking about squeezing more in or that sort of thing. What we're talking about when we talk about time management systems is making a space for the things that actually matter. And I love the 1-3-5 rule because it really can help in that exact goal. So I want to pause for just a minute and just have everyone, if you could please type into the chat one big task that you focus on over and over and over and never get to or never get it finished. Like one thing that's just, I got to do that. And then it gets pushed to the next day, gets pushed to the next day, gets pushed to the next day. Or you just keep getting sidetracked and that sort of stuff. I'm interested in those things. Laundry. My laundry, I call it the laundry mountain. Mary, I am with you about paperwork. That's a big one. Valerie, clean your desk. I love it. That Patty, that reorganizing toys, you would think that this is like, oh, maybe a medium or even maybe sometimes a small task until you really get into how are you going to organize that? What boxes? How are you going to help them get them in and out? I'm with you on that one. Yeah, that organizing and filing class notes, handouts to make the most of the trainings that you've done, that is a really big deal because our hope is that you're not coming here doing these trainings and then there's a stack that gets put behind a stack that gets put behind a stack, right? And that you never really get to the things that matter and start working on those things first. So this 135 rule is extremely, extremely simple. It focuses on one big task, three medium tasks, and five small tasks. It is simple, but it's extremely powerful in daily planning. So the things that are like those daily tasks that you need to get checked off, and laundry is a great example of one of them. You kind of got to run it every day, but sometimes it just piles up and gets too big. Each day you're going to choose the one big, the three medium, and the five small tasks. This method is based on the idea that we can't do 20 things well. And do you guys all agree that you probably have 50 things on that checkoff list? The list just gets so long, but we can't do it. That's not the way brains are wired. And it actually will lead to burnout really quickly if you don't learn to organize it. And studies have shown that we can do 9 items a day with clarity. And that's why we do the 1-3-5 rule. We're looking for intention and clarity when we're picking our tasks. So the history of the 1-3-5 rule, I love it, Patty. Everyone needs a list for their staycation. I really hope relaxing is at the top of that, though. So the history of this 1-3-5 rule is that it was inspired by productivity research. So this is research mapped. It's also very much about the way the brain functions. And it's a lot about human psychology. So anyone heard the saying, oh, it takes 21 days to break a habit? Well, there have been things out there to say yes and no. You actually have to change a habit. You don't really get to break them. And there's things about that. But what we have learned in a lot of brain studies is that overwhelm will shut your brain down and you will stop all productivity. And it takes more than 21 days to pick up that productivity rhythm again. So really interesting that we think about you get to do more with less. And I love this idea. It was popularized by a guy named Alex, and I'm going to butcher this last name, but it's Kaviolokis, I think. And he's from the organization, the Muse. It was built to beat overwhelm. One of the things that is true about everyone who works in a leadership role anywhere in the world, the number one thing they say is, I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. I have too much. I have too much. So we really recognized as a society that this was something that we were going to tackle. So the method gained traction through the organization called the Muse. It's a career development site. And Alex introduced it in response to the overwhelming task lists that leaders face in all of the work that they do. It's based on cognitive research and it shows how our brains are functioning best when we work with limited priorities. So that less really is more. Any thoughts on that? I think that we have created in America a society that more is more and triple more is more, and that we have so much information and things out there that people don't really think about how can I do less and accomplish more. And that's really the mindset when we're doing this 1-3-5 rule that I'm hoping people can do. So the power behind the simplicity of this program is that it helps with decision fatigue, and that is a real serious problem. And believe it or not, mothers who also are educators are in that top tier of people who suffer from decision fatigue. Isn't that amazing? Wow. And there's no reason that there's no surprise that the jokes are out there about on the memes and everything where it's like, mom, 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 mom. But you guys get it from mom, you get it from Johnny, you get it from Sally, and you get it from significant other, and you get it from your teachers and everywhere else. And so decision fatigue is a very real thing for childcare providers, and it's something that I'm pretty passionate about telling you guys to protect. Fewer choices is going to help you have more focus. And this simple method is going to help you build momentum because small wins work. So a weight loss program, for example, when you've done it for a week and you don't lose a pound, you're like, I'm giving up on this. And it might take that whole second week for it to really kick in, and then you would be great. But if you don't have some momentum or something that's a win, our brains just don't want to keep doing it. And that's why I don't like the 21 days to change a habit model. I like it takes a lot of small good behaviors and good choices to change a habit. And so thinking of them as small wins that come up before we make a big decision is a great way to look at this. When you're choosing only 9 tasks, you eliminate the stress of decision fatigue. Each win is going to build that motivation. And remember that childcare is extremely unpredictable. You need a system that's flexible, but also provides you with some focus. And this one absolutely delivers in all those areas. Amber put in the chat that 1-3-5 helps her because even if it's less than her huge to-do list, her little tasks add up to huge productivity. And that's the exact science, Amber. Absolutely. And definitely it does lessen that feeling of being overwhelmed. I know I hear it from you guys when you're like at the end of the day. I do a lot of trainings in the evening and I'll check in. How's everyone doing today is the question that gets asked. And what I hear a lot is, well, I actually was able to mark a couple things off my list today. And it's those successes that really do kind of help in those regards for things. So when you're doing the 1-3-5 rule, kind of by the numbers, the first thing you want to do is the brain dump. And the brain dump is just you're writing down absolutely everything you need to do. And then number 2 is categorizing. And so in that way, you want to think about what's big, what's medium, and what's small. And I suggest the best way for you to categorize those big, medium, and small is to go back to your Eisenhower matrix that we talked about in the first week, which is going to help you understand those tasks. And that's why we kind of put that one out there first, because it does help discern, prioritize tasks that need to be done. And then step 3 is pick just one big task, pick 3 medium tasks and 5 small tasks. Step 4, you're going to write them down or use a planner or an app. I use a Monday board, but I'm in front of a computer all day. And I think that could be challenging for childcare providers because you're in and out of rooms and all over the place. Maybe if you're a director, that might be a little bit easier for you to use an app or something like that. But the actual recommendation that comes from Alex is you need to write them down And if it doesn't fit on a sticky note, on a little 4x4 sticky note, you're trying to put too much in your day. And I like that idea. So you want to check midday when you're doing these and adjust as needed. You might look midday and be like, nope, I'm not getting that one done. So I need to schedule and focus time tomorrow or later in the week or my next Monday or whatever to get that done. This method works whether you're running a classroom or managing your entire business operations. So, teachers, this is awesome for you, and directors, this is also awesome for you. Family owners, this is also awesome for you. So, what it looks like, so a good example of what it might look like in a day is your one big task might be I have been wanting to update my parent handbook, and I am going to focus and get some time out to do that. Some examples of some medium tasks might be to prep next week's art bins, to complete your food program paperwork, to organize your staff schedule. Good examples of mediums. And then for 5 small ones, you guys are pretty good at knocking out those small things. It's focusing and making time for those other things. But don't forget how important the small things are. But if we go back to any one of the other systems that we've talked about, delegating is a piece of that. And you can easily delegate many items on your small task list. Cleaning the cots, you could delegate a special student of the week to wipe those mats down if you wanted. I mean, there's all kinds of options out there for that, but just really remember that you don't have to do 100% of it. So let's see, Alisa put in the chat, I've been trying this out a bit and I believe that this is going to work well for me. I'm excited for you. I really believe in those small wins create big wins. And, I hate every cliche out there, the snowball that gets to be the huge snowman at the bottom of the hill. But just that momentum and things make a big difference. And then Michelle asked, is there an app for anything that I recommend for this versus a piece of paper and a pen? So I'm a huge fan of Monday boards, and you can organize a Monday board any way you want, small, medium, large. It's so customizable. It's a really big one. And then there is another app, someone throw it out there because I can't think of the name of it, but it starts with a T and a lot of people use it. Very similar to a Monday board. What I like about both of them is they're customizable and they're things that work. And what I really like about my Monday board is I've gotten in the habit of popping in and looking at it so I know what I'm thinking of every day. And then at the end of the day, I make my board for the next day. So I have my small, medium, and large tasks in there. And it's very helpful. So, and Monday.com's free if you want the basic that I use. So all good things. Okay, so now we're going to get into some small groups, and I'm going to put you guys into some breakout rooms because we believe that you guys learn best from each other. And I'm going to put you in a breakout room for, about 5 minutes. What I'd like for you guys to do is to be thinking about tomorrow's 135. What do you have going on tomorrow? What kind of 1 task, 3 task, 5 task can you put on a list? And share with each other what your one big task is, because I think it'll be interesting to you that what's a big task to you might be a medium task to someone and might be a small task to someone else, and vice versa. And then after that, because you've learned 4 systems now, what I'd really like you to do is to talk amongst yourselves about how all 4 of them really fit in together and how you can use bits and pieces from the Eisenhower matrix, time blocking, the Pomodoro technique, and 135 absolutely fit really good together. So have a little bit of a conversation about that. And then I will bring you back together when we have about 4 minutes left in the training and we'll share, okay? So I'm going to put you guys in breakout rooms now. And we'll see you all in 5 minutes. Okay, I think that we're all coming back from that amazing breakout. I hope that it was some good ideas shared amongst yourself. Did anyone hear anything or get any aha moments that you think the group needs to hear? Let's share it. Come off mute and talk to us.
In our group, it was just lots of things, we'd have just lots of little things at this moment that we could think of, that we got coming down the pike for next week. So, yeah.
And it's summertime. You guys have all kinds of craziness happening too.
Oh my gosh. And it was a full moon. Don't forget about that full moon. Had to figure out why the kids were a little rambunctious yesterday. There you go.
It was beautiful too, if you could catch the glimpse between the clouds.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Well, I hope that it is understandable that, this series was designed for you guys to build from each other and to understand when we take a look at, where we started with the Eisenhower matrix, really knowing how to prioritize what we got to do is important. And that pertains to every single management system out there. And then focusing specific time on getting things done is really important. You can do that with time blocking. You can do that with the Pomodoro timer. You can do that with this 1-3-5 rule. And it's all really good ways to have some focused work time when you're really busy. And so I hope that that's helpful in understanding. There is a book that I want to talk about to you guys and just let you know that there's a ton of very new science about the way our brains are wired and work and how they work for success. And so there's a couple of great books. I know Atomic Habits is one that everyone's read and things like that. But the precursor to Atomic Habits was a book called The Power of Habit. And I love this book. It talks about what I was talking about, why we don't break habits, we change decisions that make new habits. And it's a really good book for helping you understand how your brain works. I want to pause for any questions. Does anyone have anything that they want to share for the group or anything that needs to be discussed today? All right. Well, remember that you want to connect with us, follow us on our socials. They finally put me on a page, so there's some funny socials out there with me. You should look at them. Uh, there's next week, I want to let you guys know that we are going to be doing a very meaty topic called the Getting Things Done topic. And it comes from a man named David Allen. But I want you to know that there's 3 huge books that come with this. This isn't a light topic, and I can't get it all in 30 minutes. So you're going to get highlights and lots of resources for this, which I've picked for our last topic. Okay. And this one is going to talk about how to capture everything in a system, how to clarify, organize, review, and how to do long-term solutions for mental overload. So it just takes what we learned today a lot deeper. And I'm looking forward to it. So that's going to be on June 26th. And with that, if you guys don't have any other questions, you can all go. And like always, I am going to stay on if there's questions.
Right on, Billy. What?